In a previous hour-long Houseplant Home Makeover special, I planted up a BiOrb terrarium, but didn't show how to assemble it, which I'll do so step by step in this vlog. All right guys, so we have a little bit of construction sound in the background as I'm actually constructing this, so somewhat appropriate. This seemed a little bit complicated, so I took a look at the directions in advance. So I'm going to try to show it to the best of my ability here. Basically, the whole concept behind this BiOrb is that it's a self-contained terrarium. So it works by watering it from the bottom and it pulls up through a wicking fabric. So these are like the little wicks that go down, felted wicks. Pulls the water up so that the plants are not sitting in water and they don't have their roots asphyxiating in water. And there's a little humidifier up here on top, so then that kind of mists it going down. And it has all these little plugs and contraptions. So a little bit complicated to understand, but basically we're gonna be working through this little hole, and these two platforms actually click together, so we're gonna figure out how to do that. Oh, there we go, okay. So take this out like this. And I gotta make sure that the hole fits this way. You see that? I did not see that initially. I've never dressed a little capillary mat like this before. It's like putting a dress on a doll. Okay, very strange doll. There you go. That is the platform. And then it looks like we're going to add the coconut coir. And the way this works is you take this and it actually will expand. So I know this doesn't look like much. It's like a little brick of coconut coir, but it is completely dehydrated. And this will miraculously fill out this entire bucket, if not overfill the bucket. So you probably want something that's 3 gallons. This bucket is probably a little less than 3 gallons. So you could actually just leave it in here, but I'm kind of like soaking it through. And you could already feel it expanding. It's pretty crazy. All right, so I got these great plants from Plant Shed, and I'm probably not gonna use all of these in here, but I like to have a nice selection of plants because you just never know how it's gonna be designed. Oh, and I'm almost forgetting one more thing that goes in here that I got from BiOrb. So hold on a second. Gonna kind of hug a plant. It's always nice to be able to, when you're designing terrariums, to be able to work with some type of centerpiece, whether that's one of the larger plants or whether that's something like this, this kind of petrified wood. Now you can see this coconut. I can't touch this, but I probably need to put a little bit more water in this, but you can see, like, look, it all just kind of filled up this water and is, you know, basically ready to go. Let me see this. To see what I'm doing, otherwise I'm going to poke myself. Ta-da! Oh yeah, look at this thing. How's it stuck down here? Of course the last one is like somehow stripped in a weird way. There you go. That's a beauty. So this could even go in here. I have to put the coconut coir in, but I just want to show you how this fits. So, you know, right here. So this is made to look like petrified wood, but it's not wood at all. That looks super cool. And then we could actually put a plant, you know, in here or around there. So that's a really beautiful sculpture to include. So I'm just adding all the coconut coir in here. Maybe not all of it. I'm going to just add it slowly because actually some of the plants are not bare root. Some of them are actually in their own potting mix. So I'm going to be adding not just coconut coir in here. I'm actually also going to be adding plants with their potting mix. I do have some bare root plants, but I wasn't planning on planting the bare root plants in here. There's a whole brick that I can break up slowly. So this coconut coir is a sterile mix. So to my knowledge, all this is coconut coir. So there's nothing else other than that. And you want to actually use a sterile mix in here because you don't want to use anything that could have like fungus or disease or so don't use your outside potting soil. But this is a nice little medium in here. This is about all I'm going to fill it up. You notice I have still more of the brick to go, but I want to be able to start planting the plants in here, and because some of them are not bare root, and I want to make sure that everything is going to fit in here, because I obviously don't want the soil to be up to here, and this seems like the right place to start for me at this stage. All right, so I have a number of different plants that we could actually start planting in here. I do want to put the sculpture in pretty soon because I want to be able to build the plants around this. This one is called a Photonia. It's a type of nerve plant. You'll notice that I have a couple different varieties here. I have the white nerve plant and I have the pink versions. I also have some ferns. So this is a rabbit's foot fern, a Divalia, and then some anthuriums. I have this beautiful Ludicea discolor. This is a type of jewel orchid, and you can see that it has this like really textural black velvety leaf with these pink veins, which is just gorgeous. A Willissia. These are often called Tillandsia cyaneas, but this has just been recently put into a new category, a new genus called Willissia. And I have some smaller terrarium plants here, some Pilea, some peperomias, and of course some Phalaenopsis, which I know Damon's not very much into blooms, but in this case, a Phalaenopsis might actually look a lot really pretty in here, especially with this color pattern that we have going. So I'm gonna put the sculpture in here. I'm just gonna try to lodge that in. And terrariums, I mean, you can only plan them out so much. Kind of just gotta go with it. Okay, just pull this out over here. This is a lot deeper than I expected, so let's see if this will even work. And this soil is actually sticking out, but as I start to build around this, I'm going to add more soil in, which could be a little bit of a challenge because it's only a small hole up here, and then you're gonna start to really fill this up with certain plants. So it's gonna fill up really quickly. So even though this is a giant orb, and I was surprised by the size of this, it's so easy to fill it up with plants, as with anything is in life. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get this Phalaenopsis out. You can see that these are actually epiphytic plants, which means that they grow on another plant. And this grower has it actually growing in sphagnum, but typically they have it growing, you could grow it in a coconut coir, or you could grow it in like a fir bark mix. There's certain things that, that work. And this typically, if you have this sitting out, you would dunk it in water. I have like a Phalaenopsis care video up on my YouTube as well. But in this case, this will be in its own self-contained structure. So hopefully we won't have to do much care tips for this at all. Let's see if this is too tall, because I could always go with the white one. So this is a little bit on the tall side. I think I'm actually gonna go with the white one, because the white one that I have, the white Phalaenopsis, is a little bit smaller. So we could save this for something else that we're doing. All right, let's try this one. This one seems a little bit more reasonable in height. So I'm just gonna squeeze this out. It looks like it has just been recently watered. All right. Perfect. Yes, this is a nice size for this particular terrarium. I need to probably get a little bit more behind here just to make sure that the Photonia is fully well rooted, and a little bit more in there. It's easier to actually work with your hands, which I don't mind. It's almost like working with clay. Oh my goodness, this is great. This is just a nice little fit. I think I have just a good amount of plants here. I definitely want to use this Ludicea discolor because I know Damon's going to appreciate this. This I actually had to get online because I think a Ludicea discolor is not in season right now. So these are the jewel orchids that aren't necessarily They're not necessarily grown for their flowers, but their foliage is just to die for. It's so beautiful. Okay. I have space for another. Actually, I might put the Ludicea in front here so that it doesn't get covered up. Let's see if I could fit it a little bit more right here between the Pilea, the Peperomia, and the Fittonia right here. And then I'll put the other Fittonia right over here. Ooh, harder to plant now that everything's being filled in. Okay. Wow. This is looking so good. I just need to fill in some material behind here, some more coconut coir. I think we could leave that back space a little bare just because we're not really going to see much of that back area. Okay. This is so cool. I think I'm going to want one of these for my home. Actually, I know I want one of these for my home because this is just really delightful. I just don't know where I'm going to put it in my home because I don't have enough space. I need to probably get a little bit more behind here just to make sure that the Fittonia is fully well rooted, and a little bit more in there. Make sure that the roots are affixed because this one seems to be a little loose, loosey-goosey. Okay, then I'll probably get some more behind here. Look at these fuzzy, this is how the rabbit's foot fern gets its name. It has these little fuzzy rootlets that come off. We're not going to cover them up, we're going to let them stay on the surface. We just want to make sure that we have some substrate around them. So I have this all planted up and you could see just how lush it is. I absolutely love this thing. I'm gonna be carrying it upstairs, but I don't wanna fill it up with water yet, so because it's just gonna be too heavy. So I'm going to just take this upstairs. Oh, that looks so cool. Look at that. Imagine waking up to that. Let's see if I could get the lights on and everything. Let me just see. Oh, wow. That is so cool. Look at that.
If you're curious to see what Damon thought of his new BiOrb, then continue watching episode 118 of the Houseplant Home Makeover. You'll also learn about setting plants in the right space, setting up an LED grow light, pruning, propagating, and fertilizing plants, and more.
So all of this gets watered the same.
You know what? You're gonna have to find out.
To figure it out, we'll discover.
Because I have never had one of these before, so you're gonna tell me.
All right.
You're gonna call me and tell me.